Oh, God. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is, I guess, the son of Einstein and Charlie Chaplin, but he's actually Nipponese, and there is an old god in his eyes, because you see these wonderful teeth and claws there. AFK. Okay. And it's so much fun to voice him. Hopefully I remember all the voices. Mr. Natsume, what did you mean by what you just said now? What did he say right now? About the trial tomorrow being cursed. Oh no! Why are you looking so grave? You're making me so nervous. I was just getting carried away, that's all. I didn't mean anything by it. Oh, I see. That's really... That has really agitated him. You don't mean the trial really is cursed tomorrow somehow? I didn't say tomorrow. Are you referring to the prosecutor? The Reaper of the Bailey? The Reaper? Oh no, what do you mean? Please tell me, summarize it. I don't even know. Succinctly? Succinctly in 16 salient words. Why 16? No defendant has ever survived a trial in which the Reaper stands for the prosecution. Ever. Oh my goodness, can it really be true? That was 16 words exactly. He completely ignores that he's going to die. Yesterday, Mr. Naruhodo successfully defended someone against the Reaper. But then, after the trial was over, the defendant passed away in unusual circumstances. Yes, because I put him into the carriage and then set it ablaze. What coincidence. Mr. McGill. What? Nani? Ah, I'm impressed, Miss Susato. You have an eye for detail. Actually, the Lord Chief Justice told us. Mr. Sholmes. Surely it can't be that having failed to have a key. What is this sentence? Surely it can't be that having failed to have the accused convicted. Lord Van Zieks killed the man himself? Oh no, he couldn't have, surely. No. You have some wonderful notions. Sorry? The man isn't a mass murderer, he's a court prosecutor, my dear fellow. Oh, yes, why? Of course he is. That makes him completely innocent. He would never be able... Oh wait, he's not human. He's a vampire. He would never kill a Oh, of course he is. Then why are you trying to scare me? It could be said, however. that the real truth about the man is even more terrifying than your hypothesis. What on earth do you mean by that? Van Six is a quite exceptional man. However, in London courts of law, exceptional does not equate to winning every case without exception. Ah, that's good, that's good. Saseki-san looks like he's going to cry tears of joy. I'm sorry, Sasuke. As you are no doubt aware, in a British criminal trial there is both a judge and a jury. The judge officiates based on the letter of law, whilst the jury offers public opinion and common sense. Yes, common sense. I've seen it. It is an excellent system whereby the defendant's guilt is considered from several points of view. However, public opinion in particular is somewhat easily manipulated. Right. Criminals and corrupt lawyers, for that matter, can use it for their advantage. By any means at their disposal. Contriving evidence, calling imposters as witnesses, and so on. And people who in court just destroy evidence in front of everybody. What? Are you crazy? Oh. By such underhand means, those who would want to are able to sway the jury. Which means that even in the light of the irrefutable evidence, the prosecution can fail. But it means the wrong verdict can be passed. And sadly is from time to time, my dear. And sadly is from time to time, my dear madam. It is simply the reality of the situation. Or we could just call it a broken justice system, like most in our world. Oh, I'm rich. Guess I'm paying people to get me out. Oh, I'm a politician. I have political security, so therefore I can go to this country and kill someone and get away with it because you cannot touch me. Yes, watch movies, it's fun. They have topics like that. And that's alright? No, it's not alright. Would be nice if the justice system would actually work as intended. However, those indicted by Lord Van Six cannot escape justice. Their fate is sealed. Oh my! Oh my! And also, I noticed that my one bot is still active that we don't need. I think in this game. Though the adjudication may seem them leave the courtroom with their freedom, within months they all disappear. And it is most striking. Disappear? But how? Ah, by all manner of misfortune, sir. Perhaps they are trampled under a passing carriage. Perhaps they fall into the Thames and drown. Perhaps they are suddenly overcome by a raging fever, or perhaps attacked by a highwayman. Oh, no. All examples of the reality of events here in London, I'm afraid, Mr. Naruhodo. You know, it could just be really dumb coincidences of, like, you know, things happen to people and they were just prominently in court with Lord Van Zieks. But then it would happen anyway. There's a possibility for that. It's extremely small, but let's see. Stop with the points. Ah, I knew it. I'm a dead dodo done for doomed. At least he's a dodo. Cursed lodgings. When you said a cursed lodgings before, you were referring to the room at Mr. Kurtup's house, I assume. Do you mean to say to believe the place is cursed? It's been a year now since I came to Great Britain. But I'd only been in London for a week before I started to notice strange feelings in myself. What? That didn't take long then. That's what I said. Everywhere I looked, there was a... Okay, English. Everywhere I looked, there were foreign faces staring at me, laughing behind my back. I was sure people were talking about me. I started to become nervous about going outside. That has nothing to do with being cursed. It's called being a foreigner. They were always staring at me all the time from dawn till dusk. So I shut myself away in my room, but even that didn't help. The fear wouldn't go away. Yes, because a depressive room helps a lot. You must have been very lonely, having been away from your homeland for such a long time. I've had to move a number of times, most recently to that room on Briar Road a week ago now. Yes, why did you choose there? It seems a little inconvenient. The rent is cheap. I have so little money, it appealed to me straight away. Of course, I asked why it was so affordable. The landlord just simpered and said, "The room is cursed." Oops. He quickly tried to cover his mistake, but it was too late, so I told him, "If you have something to say, then say it, and if not, don't mention it in the first place." Yes, well said. But it was true. It was all true. You mean the room really is cursed then? Ever since I moved into that windowless hellhole, my sleep has been plagued with nightmares. I awake feeling as though I'm being choked to death. And in my waking hours, people are stabbed in front of me as I walk down the street. You know, or maybe your room has no ventilation because there are no windows and therefore you basically are about to die in your sleep. Have you thought about that? Plus, you already are shy and angsty, and then you move in the most depressing dark room? Who knows how cursed that room is? I'm branded a killer, thrown in prison. Nobody wants to know me. I'm surrounded by scary, sinister spirits. Okay. If only there was someone, just one person on my side. Can no one find it in his or her heart to believe in me? Really, no one at all. To believe. Yes, to believe. Yes, to believe. To believe. Mr. Sholmes, I believe I can fly. I can believe there's no window in the sky. Beginning to believe. Ah, no! Ow! Ah, me, Mr. Naruhodo. Pray, what can I do for you? It's about the case on the SS Buria, if you recall. The Buria. Ah, that case. The one with the snake. Well, yes. That time, I was the suspect, but you believed in me and listened to my side of the story. And you helped us to investigate. I did? Did I? Interesting. What I want to know is, why? Why did you believe in me? I see, yes, you mean... Because you were a grimsy-dressed, shady Eastern fellow found with the victim in a locked room? Well, if you like, yes? I'm a little surprised that the answer requires explanation, my dear fellow. It's quite simple, really. You said, I didn't do it. That's very convincing. I will keep this wisdom with me for my entire life. What? You mean the bloody knife in my hand and the dead body in front of me with stabbing wounds? What? Their blood on my hand? You even have fingerprints on them? Bloody fingerprints that definitely prove that it was me? What I have to say for my defense? I didn't do it. They believed me. I'm a free person. But I could have been lying. Surely you must have had your doubts. You must have suspected me a little. I think perhaps you have misunderstood. I neither recall believing in you, nor in that which you were telling me. What? You see, the only things I believe in are those I choose to believe in. Okay. I believe to be rich. Bing! It just works. You just have to believe. It's like what Toddy always says. Just believe. What do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? I make up my own mind about what is to believe, what is to be believed and what is not. If I should like to believe in something, I do. The circumstances can hang as far as I'm concerned. But I could have betrayed your trust. No. In that case, I should have made an elementary error of judgment, nothing more. Betrayal of trust is an overused excuse, in my opinion. Meaning? Whether or not one should trust another is, in the final analysis, down to oneself. It is a matter of whether or not one can trust oneself. Yes, he's right. Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Whether or not I can believe it myself. A defendant's lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. Why do you sound like Sherlock Holmes? And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. You were so right. Kazuma! Okay. Well, my dear fellows, it is time we were leaving, I believe. Already? Visiting hours are over. The guard will be here shortly to escort us out. There are restaurants near here that serves excellent trout. Would you care to join me? But they don't have any money for food, leave alone a place to sleep. Oh dear, there's never enough time, is there? Mr. Natsume, if you would like, in the trial tomorrow, I would be happy to represent you. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. As I said, I only experienced the British courtroom for the first time yesterday. And although the man I was representing was found not guilty, I lost sight of something crucial. Something crucial? What to believe in, the defendant, justice, or the truth. How to believe, even. But I think I finally worked it out. I've decided I must believe in myself above all else, to trust my instincts. Yes, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm just here for the ride and the money. And my instincts are telling me that you, Mr. Natsume, are innocent in this crime. And it's imperative that we prove that in court. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Do it. I will fight for your innocence until the bitter end, with every weapon available to me, especially this katana which I can literally kill the entire court. So I hope you will permit me to represent you tomorrow. No. What? As I said when we first met, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who will listen to me in my native tongue, Sasquatchian. Of course, Mr. Natsume. For the first time, he looks like a normal person. It would be fair to say, Mr. Naruhodo, that your mind was, in many ways, made up from the outside. You merely needed the events of today to fully realize it. Yes, I think you're right about that. It's been a roundabout journey, but I got there in the end.
Jolly Dutch, Joan.
Miss Susie. Yes? Would you be willing to stand by my side tomorrow and look nice? I mean, help me in court. No. I'm going to buy clothing tomorrow with the money we don't have. As I said this morning, you may consider me your personal judicial assistant. Judy assistant. We are calling this Judy. I'm sorry. Gesundheit. The shocking events of yesterday's trial still weigh heavily in my mind. But it's time to stop looking backwards. Kazuma believed in me, and Mr. Sholmes believes in me too now. That's not what's written was blah 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 blah. So it's time. Time that I learn to believe in myself. Sasuke has no one. He's all alone. And becomes bitter, and then goes back and kills everybody. And then they forgive him, just like that. So it's my job to help him to fight this corner. This specific corner, because this corner is his corner. Tomorrow never dies. In the courtroom, with all the strength I can muster. I will punch the lordship. Save your progress. No, I really want to play through this again. Oh no, it's time for bailiff. Not bailiff. He exists in every courtroom. Well, I never expected this. Who would have thought we would be back here again so soon? We are on a study tour of Great Britain with the intention of learning the country's legal practices and all the streets and corners outside, because we have no place to live and so we reside on the street. In order to research the latest court procedure here, we need as much court experience as possible. What do you mean with we? I'm the only lawyer here. You just read books. Well, yes, I suppose that's true, but for the person in the dock, it may well be his or one or... For the person in the dock, it may well be his or her one and only time in court, and it could be life-changing. In which case, treating it as research may seem a little crass. Crass. Oh, when you put it like that, you're quite right. How heartless of me. Let's treat it like an experiment instead. Good morning. Hi, Bob. Well, thank you, Bob. Ah, Mr. Natsume. Good morning. Oh dear, are you alright? Your eyes are terribly bloodshot. He didn't sleep. The early bird catches the worm, as they say here in Britain. Yes, I've heard that expression. But I really don't want to catch a worm. I think I redecided you can go in alone. So I tried desperately not to wake up early, but I was so worried I couldn't catch a wink. But can you catch a twink? And now I'm absolutely exhausted as a result. To all literary people take things so literally. Thank you for putting your faith in us today, Mr. Natsume. Mr. Natsume? I wish I had 9 lives. My whole future hangs in the balance. I'm too terrified to tremble. But you're trembling. Really? Because I can feel the tremors in the floor. I can't do this. I can't take it. Although, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Yes? I caught a glimpse of the public gallery as I walked by the courtroom. It looked like the opening night of the opera. There were so many people. I had no idea my case was such a notorious affair here in London. Oh, neither did I. Do you know why this might be, Miss Susie? I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, but I have no idea. So that all-knowing look on your face is just coincident then, is it? Don't hide the truth from me. It's because of the Reaper, isn't it? Lord Van Zieks or Dracula? Is that right, Miss Susie? I purchased as many different newspapers as I could to find this morning, and yes. How did you purchase that? You have no money. I have no money. We don't have no money. Also, why do you purchase different kinds of newspapers? Lord Van Zieks is on the front page of everyone. You didn't have to purchase them. Like, what are newspaper boys doing on streets in this time? They stand around, hold the newspaper in front of them where you clearly see the front page and yell at you. You never had to buy any of them. Just look at the front page. For free. I knew it. Sometime after the prosecutor was dubbed the Reaper of the Bailey, he stopped appearing in court, it seems. It's been several years now, in fact, until the day before yesterday. Yes, Inspector Gregson told us something similar, didn't he? The trial 2 days ago marked Lord Van Zieks' return to the courtroom after a very long hiatus. Trial of Magnus McGilded. What a harrowing experience that was. I believe that appearance made even greater waves here in the capital than today's. But we wouldn't have realized, of course, having only just arrived in the country. Why is the Reaper back in the Bailey so soon for what appears to be a mundane murder? That's the question the papers are asking, and they are all speculating various answers. Mundane? It's the most significant saga of this century to some of us. Oh dear, I meant no offense, Mr. Natsume. But that is how the papers are describing it. Well, at least we also forget the fact that it could spark an international incident. Obviously, the reappearance of this infamous prosecutor has caught people's attention. But there's another blatant similarity with the trial of 2 days ago. Yes, I agree. it happens in the same courtroom with the same court people that have the same prejudice? Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, it's you. She was also there? Why does it have to be me? Me? Well, I suppose that's true. Both time, it is you who stands against this legendary prosecutor. It cannot only mean that you're friends with the Reaper. Yes. Please, I don't rub shoulders with Deathbringers. I go on a date and then we fuck. I'm afraid that there's really only one other explanation. It can only be another example, Mr. Naruhodo, of your uncommon bad luck. Thanks for that. But this is just my luck. Why must I be represented by a man with such frail fortune? By the least lucky lawyer alive. Well, let's not forget that it was you, Mr. Natsume, who asked me to represent you. Yes, it's true that I'm just a student new to London with little in the with little in the way of experience or skills or luck. But I promise you this, I will fight your corner until the very bitter end, and I will believe in you, Mr. Natsume. Oh, benevolent locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire Senpai San-chan Kun Senpai. You're also not alone here with us, Mr. Natsume. Whatever happens, we will always be on your side. Friendship will win this case, and if we lose, you still had friendship. Ha! Isn't it a great end for your store? Oh, benevolent non-locum assistant Miss Mikotoba Esquires. Okay. I am in your debt forever. I shall never forget it, Mr. Natsume, Counsel of the Defense. My name is Bailiff, and I live in every courtroom. The court session is about to begin. Kindly make your way into the courtroom at once. I don't even know what that dialect is. Alright then, Mr. Natsume, it's time. Andale, andale. Yeah, yes! It's gonna crunch his teeth. This is it. My second appearance in the British courtroom. And my second trial against the Reaper. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Kazuma! Because this time, I won't let my fate waver. I believe in my client to the last. And if I fail, I will sacrifice his body to my gods. No, he's dead. That's true. Just like you believed in me. I believe I can do this now. I'm ready for this fight. Fight! Round 1. Mortal Kombat! It's almost the same people. Oh no, Santa is back. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this courtroom to be in session. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. Ah, I miss this boy. This wonderful boy. The prosecution is fully prepared, my lord. The defense is ready, my lord. The Nipponese are truly fascinating, a truly fascinating breed. Sorry, what? Let me breed you, boy, for the entire of the... Lord Strongheart has told me all about you. That you are a student who arrived in London but 2 days ago, a mere amateur. Do you have a point? Being a compatriot, you feel compelled to try to help the accused, I suppose. Typical Nipponese arrogance. Forgive me, but I do not believe arrogance is an appropriate description. Fear is more like it. Susie-san. After all, at our previous encounter, the defendant was found to be innocent. He's already drinking. Jesus. Very true. A most fascinating, if dark, trial it was too. A tragic conclusion came later, of course. Here's to the Here's to the acquitted and his unfortunate violent end. Isn't that dumb? Like, look at the jury. There are like people from the previous jury in this one. But shouldn't each case have like a different jury of people? That seems not correct. Thank you, consuls. I see both sides are in fine fettle. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you ready to carry out your duties here in court as impartial members of the public? Are you ready to rumble? Why is he here? Why is he here? He was accused in the last case, now he's a part of the jury? What is this bullshit? No. I also don't remember his voice. You never know when you might be down in your luck, but I believe in a fair play for everyone. Well, I must warn you, I'm rather more ruthless than I appear. Oh, well, not for me. What you see is what you get. I'm a peace-loving fellow. What is she doing here? Are you kidding me? I'm afraid I think it's quite possible that the moustache corner did the deed. Come on, what are you waiting for? I'm an American in Britain. What damn he did it anyway? I'm not even sure if I give him that one. Eh? Sorry? Didn't quite catch that? Yes, I turned him Swiss. Very well, let us proceed. Your opening statement, if you please, Lord Van Six. Very recently, Great Britain signed an alliance with a rising power in the Far East. The accused in the dock today is a student from that same land, a certain Mr. Sasuke Natsume. And while our country has extended his foreign student the warmest of welcomes, regrettably the kindness has not been returned. In fact, this student is accused of a most sinister act. Jesus, bro. of plunging a knife into the back of an innocent woman who was doing nothing but walking down the streets. I at least would have sucked her blood out of her neck. Common courtesy.
A knife crime? I tell you from bitter experience, those.
Why is everybody American?
A knife crime? I tell you from bitter experience, those are the worst. Bloody oath, they are.
I don't know, I change his voice all the time.
Just look at Solo complexion and short stature. He's one of those dreadful Japanese.
Yes, let's get a little bit more racist.
Come on, let's get this over with me now, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
Sorry? Didn't quite catch that? Pray forgive the discourtesy of smashing my hallowed chalice here in this great chamber. Allow me to call the first witness to the stand.
Very well.
Bailiff, lead the inspector in, please. Oh God. Your name and occupation, please.
Yes, sir. So by your correction, Detective Inspector of Scotland Yard.
Would you like to please summarize the events of the case for the court, Inspector? What is this haircut? Like, it looks like a bell.
Oh, you, it's hard to be a young boy. Here I have a friend with the name of Olive Green.
Oh, her name is Olive Green and she's wearing green.
I beg your pardon, Inspector? What? Toby?
Yes, having been stabbed in the back by a hard attack with knife, the victim fell unconscious.
Can't understand a word he's saying.
It was 3 years ago, and she's been comatose ever since.
What? So they don't even know who she is for sure? You knew she was comatose.
Tomatoes, I see. But her life is not in danger?
Fortunately for the Eastern student, the charge will not be murder. Pray elaborate on the details, Inspector, and tell us why he's accused of fruit salad.
Sure, if I could ask everyone to look at his tree, man. As I mentioned, the incident took place 3 years ago at around 5 in the afternoon.
I feel sorry for anybody who just listens to this stream.
There happened on the poor man running along brown red, white through foul roster and vertigo. But I no links his shot, knowing as the victim Bush Brian was walking down the street. It of bleed, she was a bird and behind from the cute and dipped in work. Luckily, Lynn's day was bad. She could remember training one of the hospital. But being out couldn't she what she will be on payment to take a schoolman for half kids. This is the course fair, but everything we know about the victim so far.
Thank you, Inspector. The court will accept the documents and evidence if you please. Ah.
His file. What of the weapon that was used? One moment, please. Oh. Young woman rendered unconscious following a stab wound to the back. Olive green female, stout build. Stout build is a very generous description. Early 20s. Pavement of Briar Road. Rolly beat. Okay. The victim remains unconscious. Her name was gleaned from her personal effects. Other details are unknown. Welcome back. Apart from single stab wound from the large knife, no other signs of injury were observed. The assailant was seen running away by the reporting officer and was successfully arrested by the following day. Yeah.
Sure, a half here. I was removed from waiting back.
Didn't we talk about a large knife? That's a pocket knife. Ouch, that big thing is starting to make me scared of walk down the street now. What big thing? This is a pocket knife. Boy, the blade is like... This blade is maybe 3 or 4 inches. That's not huge. Everybody talks like big blade. It's like, that's a knife. You know? Can I have Crocodile Dundee show you a real knife?
With a heavy blade like that, almost anybody could have been able to stab the poor woman.
I could take a kitchen knife and stab you with it. Even the scragged-looking Saskis on it, I suppose.
A common or garden jackknife, I would say, rather non-descriptive. Thank you, Inspector. The court accepts the blade as evidence. Now then, what do we know of the motive? Money or valuables, I presume?
Emotional damage.
From what I can tell by looking at the woman's position, Eushimia is poor student herself.
Sounds convincing. Yes, that is a very good blade to stab people. Oh cool, I can open it or close it. Amazing. That's all you can do. You can open and close it. Cool. Neat.
Hard image, wish you were how anything on war paint, my lord.
I see. Well, in that case, we are looking at some deep-seated resentment toward the victim.
I'm afraid I couldn't say. Apart from wishing seeing her bush off the famous national doesn't my appear to get almost. At each moment in time, we'll hope be able to establish any sort of connection with our victim.
Yes!
Okay. If theft and grievance had been ruled out as motive, what reason could Mr. Natsume possibly have had for stabbing the young woman? Yet you arrested the man in spite of that, in a totally unjustified and heavy-handed way.
Objection!
Damn, son! Just murdered someone in the audience.
Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging a freshly uncorked bottle into the public gallery.
but your words have soured its hallowed bouquet. For it's you, my learned friend, who is being heavy-handed here.
Nanny?
Scotland Yard does not arrest people without good cause. That should be beyond question. Yes, just trust your police, right? They would never be corrupt or make any mistake ever. Inspector Gregson, the prosecution calls for your formal testimony. Explain to the court precisely why the constabulary came to arrest the Nipponese student. Hehe.
As a share, our favorite class on afternoon when she is in court, the table was unusually full. But the bar will remain curb and there was no one else about the victim to be accused. Out of the blade, the victim stepped from behind the collapsed pavement. The incarcerated eyes cornering the beloveds of the floor. This being the number of old beaks he'd pictures both, he was at the home for bookshops and shams. It was his mother of him water belonged to. He was a broker rest hammer.
Wow.
Old books, you say?
Yes, my lord. I have a photograph here of the stream of crime and taking a mirror audience.
You know, at this point, I start to doubt that that knife had done any damage to begin with.
Yes, you can clearly see the books to which you are referring. I would take that photographic print as evidence, please, Inspector.
Could you just call it a photo? Your Nipponese are a spineless breed, too cowardly to admit defeat. I don't think we will find anything yet. That's for later. Denying everything despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Well,
Forgive me, Lord. 1-6, but the defendant is not denying everything, as you put it.
What are you doing, Miss Susie?
Do go on. Mr. Natsume has admitted to playing some part in the incident. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, now you mention it. When we visited him in person yesterday, he did tell us what had all happened.
As I was walking along the accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat, she was, and just as I went over to overtake her, she suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed onto the cold hard slabs of stone at my feet. I was terrified. I had to get away from them. So I ran as fast as my legs could carry me back to my cursed lodgings.
A green overcoat.
Well, that's exactly what the woman in the print is wearing. Oh my, a photographic print in full color? What will the world come up with next?
I don't know. Probably a nuke. And throw it on Japan. The defendant has done nothing more than admit that he fled the scene of a terrifying incident. That does not mean that he's guilty of the heinous crime of stabbing the woman in the back. There was nobody else there at the time, just the two of them, the victim and the accused. In other words, there is nobody else who could possibly have stabbed the woman. In fact, the accused concedes.
It seems this cross-examination could prove to be pivotal. Captain Jack Sparrow. Proceed, please.
Yes, my lord. Nothing for it. I have to use this cross-examination to turn the tables here. It's our only chance. As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, and there was an unusually light fog. Let's rest.
Hold it!
Light fog, you say?
Well, live run. You could see the opposite side of the street for once. Not much further, though.
That's light, is it?
Around this port, yes. Not something I would expect from a Japanese fellow like yourself to know, of course.
I've read that London is famous for its fog. But in my country, people usually imagine that gives the city a rather beautiful appearance.
It's a quaint. Yes, well, it's something for us Londoners to tend to romanticize, as I expect you can appreciate.
I see.
At this time of the year, the fog causes large number of accidents, especially when it's hover. Sometimes I can't see my own end at the end of your arm.
Indeed, the other day I was very nearly trampled by horses before I could see the carriage they were pulling.
Susie-san and I should definitely remember to stop and look and listen. However, on the day that concerns us, the fog was somewhat lighter than usual. A fact no doubt lamented by the accused. Visibility was reasonably good and there was no one else about but the victim and the accused.
Hold it!
How are you able to state that with any certainty?
Quite simply, my learned friend, because that is what the witness to this crime have told us.
Oh yes, Inspector Gregson mentioned the witnesses. He mentioned the witnesses yesterday, didn't he? And we had no time to know who they were and talk to them.
That's...
My voice.
That's right. One of them is a policeman, I believe, from Scotland Yard.
It is correct, me.
Then we must hear their testimony.
The prosecution will, of course, call to them to the stand, should it be necessary.
But wait a minute. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon in the middle of winter, it would have been dark already. No matter how light the fog might have been, no one could have seen. I'm unaware of this. I'm unaware of the situation on your tiny island in the east, and sneezing in the microphone is not the best thing to do. But here, in the capital city of the Great Britain, all main roads are illuminated in the night by gas streetlights. The prosecution believes there would have been ample light by which to witness the crime.
Quite. Here in London, for the first time in history, mankind has completely conquered the darkness.
Right, because before London, nobody has ever experienced fire. Which means we really need to hear those witnesses' statements. I could just get through the fog of this cross-examination. Maybe we'll be able to. It seems the counsel for the defense is taking stock. Continue with their testimony, Inspector. Okay. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement.
Hold it!
From behind, you say? It's right as you can try from this tree. I don't know what a prey is.
Yes, quite so, Inspector. The handle of the weapon is clearly protruding from the victim's back. And you say this poor woman, Miss Green, remains in a critical condition? Tomatoes, no less.
I'm afraid so, my lad. Yeah. She's been trodden by birds. By birds. I was hopefully that she will come around before the trial started to take us as a statement, but I wasn't able to be.
Ah, yes, that is indeed a pity. I would have been the most illuminating to hear the victim's own account of events.
Luck is on your client's side, it seems. On the contrary, my client has been exceedingly unlucky. Your force of tone is seriously undermined by those disturbingly wide eyes, I'm afraid. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor.
Hold it!
Mr. Napsume's belongings, I think you'll find it all there in the photographic print of the crime scene.
Yes, there are 3 books on the floor.
Dit rummeligt Schinghorn-Büchsibor. Irreparable damage if falling in the snow keys. The accused could easily have carried all 3 books in one hand. No, but he could have put them under his arm. Which means his other hand would have been free to wield a knife, for example.
He's very clever, isn't he?
What do you mean?
It's made it extremely hard for you to assert that Mr. Natsume had his hands full with his books. He's managed to close that one avenue of escape we might have had before we even knew it was there. You mean to say that the defendant was holding his belongings as he thrust his knife into the woman's back?
It must have been what happened, me Lucy. Yeah. Those being a number of old books he'd just bought. He was on his way home from a bookshop, it seems.
Hold it!
The defendant apparently visits a second-hand bookshop on a daily basis. Yeah, I understand. A shop full of English literature. That's what Vernoise needs to study. Literature. I recommend the accused of the lofty subject matter of... What? I recommend the accused on the lofty subject matter of his scholarly attention. The bloke's room was stacked from floor to ceiling with these misty books. Can you tell us more about the bookshop in question, please, Inspector? Well, if I may, I'll have to ask you to look at this shrub map. I'm afraid. What is this dialect? Bourbon books. That sounds rather alcoholic. The closest second-hand bookshop on the coast lodgings is the place HERE, Bourbon Books. A little place in the corner of the Brewery Road and the Maysham Road. As it happens, the accused is currently living in the lodgings on the other side of the Brewery Road at the opposite end. Which means it doesn't take journeys to work either route you've taken home. Something like that. A local map's information has been...
Yes, I concur with your conclusion, Mr. Inspector. Why do I call you Mr. Inspector?
Courtroom records. Okay. Crazy interesting.
The defendant would certainly have passed the scene of the crime on his way home from that particularly shop. Mr. Naruhodo, I think that we have the...
Can I English, please?
I think that what the inspector just told us could turn out to be of vital importance. We cannot point it out with the magnifying glass yet because it only appears to be possible when this point has been reached.
Yes, I agree. The most important point that the inspector just made being... Yes, the location. Crucial detail in what you've just told the court, Inspector, is the location of the bookshop. Écureuil Gourmet. So, where is it exactly?
Eh? Are you winning me options here? I couldn't explain that. I got the meme aid and everything using the blooming ink and read the bloke's road home to for you.
And I distinctively remember seeing you nod along, Counsel.
Oh, yes, of course. I've been so nervous I didn't take it in. The blunder of the day goes to you, my learned friend. No, not yet. The trial's only just begun after all.
Mr. Naruhodo, I would strongly advise you to look carefully through the court record at this stage.
Yes, miss. At once, miss. Sorry, I made a mistake, miss. Miss. Inspector, continue with your testimony, please. Okay, that is a point where we can change something. What's with the sneezing tonight? Sorry about that. It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to, and we found the bloke to arrest him.
Hold it!
You asked for the help of the famous detective Sherlock Holmes to locate the defendant, I believe.
Stephen Nelson.
Sorry?
That chick in the office, that busybody, it just comes and sticks his over in whatever he is him or not.
But according to what I have here, Mr. Holmes was shown the scene by Scotland Yard detectives.
Well, that was nothing to do with Ma. The lead scene must have done it without my permission.
Arg.
It home team and the team again. Whenever something happens, same word to the headquarters. Then follow your blooming instructions.
I see.
If Dad Midler gets you horns or any daughters, they will all be robbing the Rain's moccasin next month. And you can bet less forthing that the be in here too. Strip of all my hard work on the cars. Yes, Mr. Holmes. No, Mr. Holmes. Aren't you clever, Mr. Holmes? That's all the things I'll be getting.
Are those French fries?
Well, the British would call it chips.
So, yes, they are French fries. It's fish and chips. There's no fish in it, in this fish and chips, but it's fish and chips. Can I have some? You must ask Asla. You know, you get like the newspaper, you put like the fries in it, and then you give it to the customer, and then you put an entire fucking huge fish inside. Like one. Deep fried one fish. Just an entire salmon goes in there. Yes. Inspector, if the man is proving detrimental to the yard's activities, perhaps I should step in and deal with him?
It appears Inspector Gregson is lost for words. It's also funny, his last name is Gregson, which is a punchline towards Greg's, which is a bakery.
Yes, the Reaper's word carry a lot of weight, obviously.
Anyway, the point is this little Japanese bloke's already murdered her. He's murdered that these dirt books all over the pavement at the scene where the ones bought today.
What?
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? If you're unable to sway it during this cross-examination, I'm afraid that Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed?
That's not what she's saying. That Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed? Yes, they are sure to find him guilty. Give the man a fish. So one way or another, I have to expose the undeniable inconsistency in the inspector's testimony. Which we know. As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred and there was an unusually light fog. Is this the beginning again? A light fog, you say? That was the start of the entire thing again, right? Yeah. Okay. I mean, we have no actual proof that there was anybody else. There are the names of the 3 books, but here's the question. Can we read the names of the books on the floor in the photo? The picture of Monsieur Lecoq, A Meal for Gabriel, Canterbury Yearnings, or Yearnings? That's the question. Like, you cannot really read those. Visibility was reasonably good and there were no one else about but the victim and the accused. Continue. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. Yes, but... I mean, look at the knife. You would be... Like, they stabbed her through clothing with a knife that isn't pointy. That's pretty difficult to do, unless given a lot of force. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. I mean, if I would present here something, then it would be the list of the books, and then I would ask, are these the 3 books? You know?
Objection!
There's clearly something odd about the last statement about the witness.
There's clearly something odd here, indeed. Your behavior, Consul.
Haha, please don't mind me. Really? Okay. Sometimes the game makes no sense. Like, I would present this and ask, like, can you prove that it was these 3 books? What if I present it now on this statement?
Objection!
That reveals a damn inconsistency, that last statement.
Damning, you say? As I look at you, Consul, I see your trembling hand, your pallid expression, and your perspiring brow.
Or
Seems to me that that is the damning inconsistency.
no? Okay. I want to load this again. It just doesn't make sense sometimes. It presents you with text where I clearly say like, okay, this is not like be shown and say like, yeah, you lied, but like, can you show me that it was these 3 books, because then we can maybe find an inconsistency. So it's weird. I honestly see nothing that contradicts this. Like, nothing.
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? You're unable to sway blah 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 something something.
How do they know it was 5 o'clock? Oh. Okay. Hi, Bob. Thank you, Bob. So here it said 4:45 p.m. And he writes down, okay, sum of 2 shillings to buy 3 books. And then from the shop he needs to walk back. But they say at 5. Isn't it a little bit long? You know? From 45 to 5 p.m. to go from the bookstore to his home. That's like a distance that you probably can walk within 2 minutes or something like that. So I feel like that doesn't add up, right? I mean, I feel like I want to present this. The witness's last statement is clearly at odds with this piece of evidence. No?
I fail to see the connection. Of course you do. You don't even think.
I like how the developers are like, this would not make sense. Presenting that he took 50 minutes to go home. What took him usually like 2 minutes? That is not a contradiction to the case at 5. Visibility was reasonably good and there was no one else about but the victim and the accused. But you say that, and yet we have not heard what the police, like any witness, said to that. Huh? I don't get it. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. I mean, at this point I would present this knife and be like, bro. Ow. That causes an actual discussion.
Oh, look here, Mr. Naruhodo, just at the tip. A small piece of the blade appears to be missing.
You're right. Well spotted, Miss Susie.
I wonder what could have happened to it.
Yes, you don't think it could still be lodged in the victim, do you?
Oh dear, I hope not. That sounds terribly painful.
Yes. This would just close it. There's also nothing else you can do with this blade. That's pretty mean. It doesn't go off. Okay. Still, what if I'm just going to present it? I mean, that is a damning inconsistency to the last statement.
Damning, you say, blah blah, you are terrible.
Okay. I really don't see any contradictions anywhere. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor, which we have a picture of. There was being a number of old books he just bought. He was on his way home from a bookshop, it seems. Also nothing against that. Just a matter of working out who the books belong to, and we found the bloke to arrest him. But how did they know it was his? Unless he took the receipt he got from the bookstore and put it like in the books or between the books, which is a weird behavior, but okay. I really don't see anything here. I see no inconsistencies. I really don't. I don't. Like, this map is not going to help us. It's like, oh, cool. I can, like, wow. This tells us he paid 2 shillings for 3 books, which we do not know if those 3 books in the photograph on the floor are these 3 books. Again, I do not believe that he took 15 minutes to go from the bookstore home down the street, which is probably a 2-minute way. Then we have this. Victim remains unconscious. Her name is blah blah blah. Still a stab wound from a large knife, so no other signs of injury were observed. Zanet seemed running away by the reporting officer and was successfully arrested. And then we have a knife, and then we have a photograph. I cannot even switch, like, between this and people. I don't know. As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred. There was an unusually light fog. We have nothing that proves it was not a light fog. Visibility was reasonably good and there was no one else but the victim and the accused. Says who? Which witness said that? Without them, we cannot even prove this to be right or wrong. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. She was stabbed from behind. But she was stabbed by the knife from behind. But the person stabbing them must not have been behind them. They could just come from the front, hugging them, stabbing them, and then run away. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. Those being a number of old books he just bought. He was on his way home from a bookshop, it seems. It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to when we found the bloke to arrest him. Everything he says, there's no inconsistency. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't understand. Oh wait, so I pressed him on one of the things, but I chose the wrong thing. That is my lead. That is the lead I'm missing. I'm a dum-dum. I forgot about that. Yeah. That's always like the case, like you can press and then you get like choices and then it goes on and you completely forget all about that. Happened before.
Hold it!
It was not on that statement. I have to go through the text again because it was the first thing he said.
Hold it!
Maybe it wasn't that statement, it was the statement with the map. My bad. Right.
Hold it!
It's probably not this, but blah blah blah. Okay, it probably is all not this one, but whatever. Okay, it's the next sentence.
Hold it!
Daily basis. Yes. Bookshop in question. Urban books. Any place on Briar Road. Lodgings. name instead? I mean, he named the location and the name, but he never talked about the stock. The most important point that the inspector just made being... Inspector Gregson, may I ask you for a favor? Oui. Would you kindly add the name of the bookshop to your formal testimony, please? I believe it may be of vital importance. Maybe? Oh well, you know, yes, it could be a very important clue.
Very well, not that I can see it of being any great significance. But please revise your testimony accordingly, Inspector.
Yes, sir, my lord, whatever you say.
Would the man be any more sardonic? What is sardonic? He was on his way home from Bourbon Books, a second-hand bookshop he apparently patronizes.
Hold it!
So the shop is called Bourbon Books, is it?
That's right. That's the closest second-hand bookshop to the accused legends. And to get from the back of his room, and what have gone very past the very spot where the incident took place.
If I could just confirm one point, can we be sure that the defendant really did visit Bourbon Books on the day in question?
Well, we haven't actually confirmed it, no.
Wait. Is it? No, it's your books. There we go.
You haven't confirmed it? Why the devil not, Inspector?
Well, the thing is, the shopkeeper's gone on a trip, you see. Left the morning after the incident. To collect more steak, I'm told. So we haven't been able to ask the bloke if he accused visited the shop on a day in question or not.
Well, in that case, what did the defendant himself have to say about it?
No recollection.
What?
According to the statement he made that time, the accused has no recollection of where he'd been.
Of course he doesn't.
The bloke clearly has his head in the clothes whenever he's working the thing. He claims to just wanders into the whatever big shop he happens to be passing, or rarely notices his name.
I should say the man ought to learn to look where he's going at the very least.
So, it's just as I thought then.
Something the matter?
Inspector, you may continue with your testimony. It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to, and we found the bloke. Whoops. I must press R. If I could just stop you there, Inspector Gregson.
What is this, sunshine? I'm a busy man, you know.
This is a receipt that we found in Mr. Natsuma's room. It was issued on the day of the incident and details the purchase of 3 second-hand books.
And you fainted in the accused room, did ya?
Yes, but the point is not where the receipt was found, but the name of the shop printed on it.
Go on.
This receipt was issued from a bookshop called Your Books.
Your books? I presume?
Yes, my lord. So Mr. Natsume did indeed purchase a number of books at the second-hand bookshop that day. However, the bookshop in question was not Bourbon Books.
Oui?
You're nuts. Give me them nuts. Okay, here.
Inspector, do you know this other bookshop?
Yeah, sure. Your Books is another second-hand bookshop not far from the Bourbon Books. Just that. Well, in such a small place, I didn't think the accused would have known about it.
But in fact, that is the bookshop which the defendant visited on the day in question. And this receipt proves it.
No!
Yes, for what difference it makes. Wherever the man purchased these musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis. Well, yes. I disagree. I mean, after all,
I have the street map here, if that might help. Might be of help.
Oh, yes, thank you. Have a look at this, please. If the defendant had been returning from Bourbon Books, then yes, he would almost certainly have passed the place where Miss Green was attacked. However, if we take into account the fact that he was actually at another bookshop, Your Books, free nuts, yay! Ow, 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 ow. It might very well turn out that he wouldn't have passed that location at all.
Could that be true?
My, it rather depends on where this other bookshop is, but I do declare it may be a possibility. Is that right, Mr. Lawyer, sir? What you just said?
Absolutely. It absolutely could be right. Why are we making such a drama out of this? Just tell us where the bookshop is.
Inspector Gregson, where's this Your Books establishment?
Well, obviously we looked into it. It turns out the Your Books is just there on the other street, on the next corner of the Maysham Street, going east.
Which then means he could have taken the right side. Which doesn't make much of a difference, actually. It's probably even longer. Okay. And there you have it, as you can clearly see now. Oh. He could have still gone the same way.
My learned Nipponese friend is obviously in training to be a clown. The way he regales us with such witticism. I'm waiting, clown. To your future career in the circus.
You put that glass down now, or I'll put it down for you.
I didn't think I needed to spell it out, but here we go. If the accused was coming home from yearbooks instead of bourbon books, there's no doubt he still would have passed the place where the victim was stopped. It's possible, but now it's a 50-50.
Yes, thank you, Inspector.
That's not how physics work. Allow me to reiterate for my learned, if somehow slow Nipponese friend. Wherever the man purchased these musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis. Yarg.
Was I swept? I can't fool me, and I don't suggest you try.
And she's going to quote.
What did you say? I had enough of this now.
Beg your pardon, terribly sorry, but would you mind repeating that?
Mr. Netherhood, you mustn't give up.
What do you mean?
The prosecution's assertion is correct. The members of the jury may very well decide that Mr. Nutsum is guilty.
Ah, she's absolutely right.
You must think. Something I can't do. We must consider the assertion you just put forward by the prosecution very, very carefully. Whatever.
I claim Sasuke must have passed the location of the incident on his way home from your books, but we're gonna raise an objection. The assertion just made by the prosecution is fundamentally flawed.
Explain yourself, counsel.
Yes, my lord. You can see what I mean on this map. When returning from your books to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume could have followed the route suggested by the prosecution. However, that isn't the only conceivable route to take between two places. You could also walk between houses or the other pavement road. I know, it's strange, but sometimes people choose the longer way. If the defendant used these streets, look what happens. He arrives back at his lodgings without passing the location where the victim was attacked.
Objection!
Talking back to a clown is a fool's errand, of course. However, I feel compelled to point out that route is what I commonly refer to as the long way around. And on a cold winter's night, why would any man choose to take the longer route home? Well, the answer is extremely simple. He wouldn't. In other words, the accused took the obvious route back to his lodgings, and is the obvious perpetrator of this crime. Or penetrator, whatever. But, yes, I've got it. Obviously, we must ask the man himself. Ask Mr. Natsume which route he took home. I have already informed the court of the accused's response to such questioning. He claims he has no recollection. This rate, as a shit bloke seems to spend his time outside wandering aimlessly from ear to bar.
That day was no exception. He says he doesn't remember where he was and which road he took home. I don't believe it. Tasukete. Nani kore? I thank you, my learned friend, and suggest that we do not waste any more of the court's time by wandering aimlessly around this subject. Pray, what say you insightful jurors? Here we go. But even if that is the case, the defense still... I agree with Lord Van Six. Wholeheartedly and in every way. What? I don't believe it. Does this mean? We members of the jury are complete convinced now.
Very well, in that case I hereby call upon the members of the jury to present your findings to the court.
Guilty!
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
If they had voice actors for them, why didn't they give them? Oh wait, it costs money.
It would appear the journey's leaning is anonymous. But you know, remember last time you did this bullshit thing at the end of our court trial to extend the court trial. You could do this again. Not that I just told you again.
To the insightful members of the jury, I applaud your brave result. You serve Queen and country admirably.
Mr. Naruhodo!
No, not yet. This isn't over yet. I will go into Super Saiyan Form 3.75. Still have one last chance to sway the opinion of the jury. I have to tip the balance of those scales the other way. I have to turn this around. Somehow. Those eyes of Query not yet willing to give up and die. So I presume you intend to wield your rights again in this trial. Rights of the defense written into antiquated British law, that should have been buried long ago. Call it antiquated if you will, but it's the defense's prerogative to carry out a summation examination if it so chooses.
Very well, counsel. In accordance with the letter of the law, we shall proceed with the summoning. Are the members of the jury ready, Mr. Foreman?
Yes, of course we're ready. I'm all too familiar with that Nipponese whippersnapper and his uncle's refusal to throw in his alley. Uncus? What is an uncus?
Very well then. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, in the left corner, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty.
For pity's sake, the little Nipponese oddity already admitted it himself, didn't he?
If he said the woman in green collapsed before his eyes, why, it can only have been the victim.
If he said that the woman in green could have survived, it can only have been the victim. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop, not in Winton.
So the poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? How dreadful.
She has a window down at Briar Street. She could have seen it. She's literally a witness. I really don't care. We just wrap this up now. I've got work to be doing. Like punching foreigners. Your books. Yes, nice shop that. But bourbon books. Not worth a visit.
With only minor exceptions, the reasoning for finding the defendant guilty are all too clear. Racism. That's fine by me.
When the stabbing occurred, there were only two people at the scene were the victim and the accused. Who is saying that? Where is the witness that can attest to this? And the accused himself has admitted seeing the victim in her green overcoat sink to the ground before his eyes.
Furthermore, we have heard that the inspector at the defendant inspector that the defendant then fled the scene.
Is this even a sentence?
I must say I would have ample grounds to convict this man already. Oh dear, even the judge appears convinced of Mr. Natsume's guilt now.
Why did we have to run away like that? And how are we supposed to believe in some phantom attacker that nobody could see? This is impossible. How can I possibly make the case for the defense?
Mr. Naruhodo, this is no time for grumbling. If we want to force the trial to continue.
Yes, I know. I have to turn the tide. I must make the jurors change their minds. Well, 4 of them at least.
Exactly. You have no choice but to give up. But to forge forward. You have the floor, Consul. Begin your summy examani.
Yes, my lord. Ow. There's a woman in this courtroom that is very good at doing that. Why are you, like, slapping yourself? It's like Hulk giving bitch slap to you. I don't mean her, I mean the real Hulk. I just need to keep this trial going somehow, whatever it takes. How about burning down a witness? Come on, Ryu, you can do it. Okay. Yeah, right. This is this.
Hold it!
Excuse me, bud. Aren't you? Yes, that's right. I was the witness stand myself just 2 days ago. Yes, I had a feeling I knew your face, or the side of it anyway. If I remember correctly, you're a banker, aren't you? That's right. After the gold rush down under, I came back to London to work. I went to America to like mine for gold and sell it, instead keeping it, and then came back to London. And it was all going swimmingly until you started to fossicking around. Bruce Fairplay was a man of repute. Oh? Sorry?
Don't think I have forgotten how you treated me the other day. You had me and that young hat pegged as criminals.
Oh, well, you know, what under the bridge?
Now there's all sorts of rumors buzzing around, and the police have been badgering me non-stop.
If I could turn back the clock.
Well, anyway, I don't know about the Hatter, but at least I'm in the clear now. And free to make up my own mind about who's guilty and who isn't.
Thank goodness. Alright, maybe I might be struggle to change this man's mind given our awkward history. Oh dear, I wonder what's become of Mr. First now. If he said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, why it can only have been the victim.
Hold it!
You're right that at the time of the incident, the defendant admits to having seen someone wearing a green overcoat walking ahead of him. Well, quite, that's precisely my point. Clearly, that someone wearing green was the victim. The victim. And clearly, that funny little Japanese man with the disturbing mustache is the culprit. Let us not forget, madam, the defendant vehemently denies attacking the woman. Why, of course he does. If he admits to stabbing her, his life is over. The man is obviously a liver-faced coward, honestly claiming the woman simply collapsed before his eyes. But if that's a lie, then as you're suggesting, do you not think he would have concocted something more credible? Oh, really? I couldn't say. After all, you are foreign, and I hate you. Who's to say what goes through your funny little minds? I'm not a racist. Tell you what's going on through my funny little mind right now, but you wouldn't like it. I do declare the man has already made the admission. He himself has stated that there was nobody else around. Surely the conclusion is obvious. No one else could possibly have committed this awful crime against all women on this planet. If no one else could have done it, the accused must be the man. Really, it couldn't be more simple. Your argument is compelling, and in its simplicity, I must admit. Oh my, you are too kind, my lord. That went well for her. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop, not in winter.
Hold it!
But you can't deny there are other routes Mr. Natsume could have taken back from your books. Oh yes, like you drew on the map, you mean? What was it? Calabash Road or something? Precisely. But it seems to me that what counts is whether the little Japanese fellow actually went that way or not. Well, yes, that's true. And at the moment, there's no proof that shows he did, is there? Well, yes, that's true as well. As I understand it, the accused himself doesn't remember which way he went, does he? Well, yes, that's annoyingly true. Winter nights are dark and cold, so the way I see it, you would want to get home as quickly as possible. Well, yes. Why is this all true? So really, the only thing that makes sense is that he went home along Briar Road. Ah, I'm supposed to be convincing you here. I have given it a lot of thought, you know. I didn't just make up my mind on a whim that he did. I mean, if there was some logical reason why he might have gone the Calabash Road way, it would be different. I would be happy to reconsider my position in that case. Honest, I would. A reason why Sasuke might have taken the longer way home. Yes, a good reason. I don't imagine you'll be able to sway this young man's opinion without one. So the poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? How dreadful.
Hold it!
Whatever is the matter, young man?
You're the wife of Mr. Kirita, aren't you? The landlord who rents Mr. Natsume his room.
The master's wife? Where did you get your ideas, sir? I'm the maid, you understand?
She keeps keeping up the charade. Oh, this is going to be awkward. Why didn't you mention this yesterday? That you would be selected for the jury in this trial, I mean.
Well, I was told not to mention it to anyone until the day of the trial, you see. It was in the letter I received. The instructions were very clear, so I'm afraid I have no choice.
I see. Anyway, Mr. Natsume, the defendant takes lodging in your master's house, doesn't he?
Yes, that's right. Although he's only been in a little over a week now.
And at that time, surely you must have taken stock of his character. Does Mr. Natsume look like a kind of man who would commit a crime such as this?
Oh my goodness me, yes! He's just the sort.
What? Nani?
Spending all his time in the dark and dingy rooms, sporting that unscrupulous mustache. Like a nerd or something. The man never speaks, and don't get me started on those shifty eyes. All the neighbors are talking about him. I've heard them, you know, the people. He must be building a bomb in there or something.
Yes. He's building a bomb down there. And he also put like a half metal sphere over it. And then goes like, look, I have something to show you. Let me get the screwdriver here. Hiya, Bitsune. How are you doing? Oh dear, poor Mr. Natsume. How could people say such things about him? He's just a harmless bookworm, nothing more. Well, you just called him a worm, so... Anyway, I'd better be careful about inviting this maid to speak. She said enough damning things already. I really don't care. Can't we just wrap this up now? I've got work to be doing. What a good argument.
Hold it!
A man's life is on the line here, sir. This will take as long as it takes. Don't get clever with me now, son. My life's on the line too, and so is my family's. Ah.
The likes of you wouldn't understand, but a laborer like me can't afford to take time off.
Just eat the kids. Where's the problem? Or sell the kids. I mean, in these times you can easily sell your kids.
If I don't work, I don't eat, and neither do my wife and kids.
I'm doing fine, Ebitsun, thank you. Oh, I see. That must be very hard.
I go to the union every morning to find out what needs to be doing. If you're late to the works,
Late and the work's taken,
it's tough.
not unions. What would America say?
This time of the year, the water and the gas supply pipes bursting left and right and center. They're after cheap labor, and to get the roads dug up to fix it, it's a hard slog from dawn till dusk, it is.
I have no idea what voice I'm actually giving him. So, you were out digging up the roads on the day of the incident as well, were you?
That's right. In fact, if I remember rightly, it was just round the corner from where it all happened. By that old bookshop it was.
And therefore he can state if he saw him or not. What? Another coincidence.
That's right, Meerschaum Street it was.
Meerschaum Street.
On the map, Mr. Naruhodo, there are only 3 named streets.
Juror number 5, I need you to add that information to your formal statement, please.
What's the point in that? Can't we just get this business over with now?
Please, sir, it's important.
Fine, I'll do it then.
It happened I was digging up Meerschaum Street from dawn till dusk.
Hold it!
Does this add anything? So if I understand correctly, you're a day laborer and you were doing road maintenance that day.
That's right. Like I said, you get a lot of burst gas and water pipes underground in the middle of winter. It's the only time of the year fellows like me can actually make a few bob. Make some bob. And I'm missing out today.
And when you say from dawn till dusk,
well, the work has to be completed within the day, you see. No coaches or pedestrians can pass while it's happening.
and because it was between the 2 bookstores, it could only mean that he had only one way to go. I wonder if you could trouble you, sir, to mark this on the street map exact location of the works you were carrying out.
Give it here, then. Let me have a look.
Right, let's see then.
Here we are. Meerschaum Street. Yes, it was just like here. It was a tidy dig, I can tell you. We had to get through all the drifts of snow that had frozen solid.
And what sort of time did you finish the work?
Well, we started in the morning and we can't have finished before gone 6, I would say.
Snow had stopped coming down, but it was long past dark for sure.
That means the road. That means the road was still going on when Miss Green was attacked at around 5 o'clock.
Roadworks on Meerschaum Street, huh?
No. Oh, your books.
Yes, nice shop that. But the bourbon books, no, not worth a visit.
Hold it!
Sorry? Fold it? You say fold what?
No. What I said, hold it. What I wanted to ask was, do you visit your books often? I like the old books. They have it in there. Yes, I enjoy reading them over a nice cup of tea. Old tea. That's my daily routine, you see. The same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about. And at what time did you visit the your books on the day in question? Well, I was picking out the books in there all afternoon, and it would have been just before 5 that I left. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about. Just before 5, you say, exactly when the victim was attacked. Are you sure about the time? Oh yes, no mistake there. I remember it well. I'm not about to forget that day in a hurry. Not after the dreadful time I had. What do you mean? Well, I was walking down Calabash Road and I slipped on the ice and donked my head. Oh, and you are having a green coat and a brown hat. Interesting. It's always worse after the snow stopped falling. That's when it's most slippery. Knocked myself clean out. Did I really thought my number was up? Wait a minute, let me get this straight. This happened on Calabash Road? That's right, I live in Cornpipe, you see? Heading down the Calabash Road is the quickest way for me to get back from your books. Juror number 6, I must insist that you add that information to your formal statement. It may very well be extremely significant. Sorry? I extremely sick? No, I'm quite alright now.
It sends a shiver down my spine to hear the members of the jury so convinced of Mr. Natsume's guilt. Can't help feeling that some of their opinions are rather subjective.
I agree. It's the irrelevance of what some of them are saying that sends a shiver down my spine. Still, at least some of their assertions don't actually incriminate Mr. Natsume of anything. That's something.
We must use that to our advantage, Mr. Naruhodo. Cunningly.
Yes, you're right. Let's listen to the jurors again carefully. And if any of their assertions are at odds, I'll pit them mercilessly against each other. God damn it, Bob. Thank you. That's so nice of you.
Yes, don't hold back. Pit them all against each other.
For pity's sake, that lady Nibbles did he already admitted himself, didn't he? Said that woman in green claps before his eyes. Why? Now that I can pity. Can pity? Pit. I mean, this and this, but also she says this. I mean, that should count.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly show a flaw in the juror's reasoning.
A flaw? Are you talking about counsel? What are you talking about, counsel?
Well, juror number 2, juror number 6.
My
Whatever do you mean, sir? I think perhaps the old man didn't hear you. Unbelievable. It's not like I was loud or anything. There is at least one fact of which we can be sure here. The bookshop receipt found in the defendant's room clearly indicates that on the day of the attack, he had been to Yor's book and purchased a number of second-hand titles. He then returned home on foot. But the man says he has no recollection of his return journey. That's correct. But what does he remember is seeing someone appear in front of him on the way. Someone in a green overcoat who suddenly collapsed on the pavement before his eyes. Yes, we are well aware of this. The poor young woman who was stabbed, obviously.
Objection!
Can we really be sure of that, madam? My, whatever do you mean? I'm sure you heard juror number 6 account of what happened to him that day. That the same afternoon there was somebody else apart from the victim, who was wearing a green overcoat and who fell over on the icy streets in the neighborhood. Oh my! My goodness, you mean? That's right. I'm referring, of course, to hard of hearing juror number 6. Are you really suggesting that the person in the green overcoat whom the defendant saw collapse in front of his eyes was the jolly old gentleman on the end of the bench here with me today? That is entirely possible, yes. After all, the old man has a somewhat similar build to the victim. Well, look at that. Oh my goodness me. Sorry, I need a pee? You need a pee? We all need pee? And crucially, we know precisely where the old man in the green overcoat fell. On Calabash Road. Therefore, the person who Mr. Natsume saw collapsing in front of him was in fact juror number 6. It means the defendant must have taken the long route back to his lodgings. And if that's true, then clearly the crime scene of Briar Road, where the woman was stabbed, was not on his way home. Oh my! You idiot, old man. If you hadn't been so daft as to be roaming about there, we'd be boxed off this hours ago. And really, what were you thinking wearing such a befuddled coat? What did I just say? What? What did you just say to me? Is it a crime for the elderly to walk the streets these days? Is it a crime to sleep over on the ice? Is it a crime to keep up the latest styles and wear the beautiful green overcoat, is it? My lord, I do hope I won't cause any inconvenience, but you would like to change your leaning, I presume? I do declare that I would. I should like to call for a verdict of not guilty. Thank you. And I would too. What? Is it a crime to change your mind? Is it? Well. And he's calm again. Such a waste of materials. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. That was wonderful. Well, we've managed to change a couple of minds at least. It strengthened our position somewhat. Yes, and it will prompt the other members of the jury to reconsider their stance as well. They'll be asking themselves if their current leanings are really right or not. Now, if only, if we could just identify one more clue of discrepancy that would make them stop doubting Mr. Natsume, we might be able to tip the balance completely. Yes, that's exactly what I've got to do. Van Six is looking to bring this trial to an early conclusion. It's what we have to prevent by whatever means we have at our disposal. Thank you, Counsel. Oh, now a summy examine, please. Yes, me lord. Now that we can pit versus that.
Objection!
Those two statements are clearly at odds with one another. At odds, Counsel? Explain yourself. Please don't point. I wasn't me, I swear. What? I just want to get this done and dusted. Well, juror number 3. Oh, me, sir? What do you mean? Juror number 5's words just now are extremely... Jurors number 5's words just now are extremely significant. Let's take a moment and consider the implications of what's been said on our map of the local area. On the day in question, Mr. Natsume visited this bookshop to purchase a number of second-hand books. And on the same day, we now know that there were works being carried out on Meerschaum Street, making it impassable. Which means the defendant's route home could not have taken him along Meerschaum Street and down Briar Road. Oh, yes, of course. What do you think, sir? Well, yes, you can't argue with that, really, can you? We must have a good 2 yards or more of the pavement up. Every gentleman and gentlewoman that came along had to turn back to go the other way. So the only conclusion is this. The defendant must have taken the longer route back to his lodgings. Yes, I suppose that must have... yes, I suppose he must have. I suppose that must be right, eh? Juror number 3, you said the following. The man who wouldn't have gone around the house on his own way back from the bookshop. But we see now that he had no choice. Yes! Okay. My lord, Mr. Judge, sir, if I may. What? Yes? I don't think in all good conscience that I can say that the man's guilty now. Yes, I would like to see this trial continue so we can get to the bottom of what really happened. What about you, sir? Who, me? Well, alright then. There's a hole in the prosecution's argument. It should be filled in. That's what I say. Well, that Summy Exami has concluded with a rather large shift in opinion. The eyes 2, the nose 4, so the noses have it.
not guilty, they say. Which means we no longer have a consensus among the members of the jury. The trial will continue.
Objection!
Of course. Crush it. Yes! Could it seem churlish of me to drink from my hello chalice moments after raising an objection? Only to crush it in disgust. Pray forgive to the discourtesy. Lord 1-6? It seems I must have retracted my earlier remark. What do you mean? I mistakenly credited these jurors with intelligence by describing them as insightful. Yet we have just witnessed them falling for a cheap trick performed by the Eastern entertainer.
Whatever you mean.
Objection!
I haven't tricked anyone. Everything I've said is the truth. Indeed, stalwart juror number 5 was undoubtedly repairing the road as he claims. I believe you said it was a good 2 yards of the pavement which you had excavated, sir. That's right. Took me the whole day and they paid me a measly 2pence for it. Now, my learned Nipponese friend, tell me, do you have any notion of the distance that 2 yards will represent? Well, I'm honest, I don't have a clue, no.
2 yards is a little less than 2 meters. It's like,
I need precisely 2 meters. Give me 2 yards. But that's not 2 meters. It's almost 2 meters, okay? Bob, come on. Less than 2 meters. That's not much at all. In other words, a distance readily vaulted by anyone of moderate vigor. Would you not agree, my stalwart friend? Why would you jump over it? Me? Well, I can say you're wrong, no? What? And did you perchance erect a sign to prevent pedestrians from passing the site of your works? I wouldn't dream of it. What a waste of time. Good job on security. Let's make a hole here. Should we warn the pedestrians that they might fall in? Nah. I mean, come on. If they hurt themselves or die, we just put some materials on them, bury them in the streets, like we always do, right? No coaches would have had a hope of passing anyway, so we just turn any gentlefolk back when they come. Kids just jump right over us all the time. The accused is no gentleman as far as you can see. I have little doubt, however, that he could spring over a 2-yard trench in his meanderings around town.
ah, is that true, is it?
The incontrovertible truth is that the books just purchased by the accused were found at the scene. There can be no doubt that on his way back to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume walked down Briar Road. Which I can prove as wrong, because you are about to tell me the titles of these 3 books. Crushed in a single sentence. Not really. And Old Man. Cold Man? You can't talk? You say that around 5 o'clock on the day in question, you slipped and fell on Calabash Road. Pray, was there a suspicious-looking Nipponese behind you at the time? Oh, I can't say I remember. You don't remember? How about a wager, my learned friend? You say it was the old man that was accused, the accused son. But I wouldn't lay 1,000 to 1 against you being able to prove it. Arkies.
Order! Order! Lord 1-6, explain yourself.
My lord.
If you had such a trenchant argument up your sleeve, why in the world did you not proffer it during the Sami Exami?
I wanted to give this young foreign student the sightseeing experience he no doubt came for. I wanted him to see himself how the opinion of the jury is so readily swayed. Ah, but my hospitality has its limits, and they have been reached, I feel. Oh god, he's going into phase 2. So, my learned friend, today sightseeing tour of London is now over. Have at it. What are you talking about? Me lord. The prosecution requests permission to call extermination of opposite lawyer. I mean to call its next witnesses to the stand.
Granted, my leave, bring forth the witness.
Its next witness?
Mr. Naruhodo, do you not remember? We've been told on several occasions that there were eyewitnesses to the incident.
Yes, I remember. One of being Scotland Yard policeman, no less.
I'm afraid that's likely to be the prosecution's next witness. Alright, no matter what 1-6 brings to the stand as his witness, and no matter what they say, I believe in Sasuke. I know he's innocent and he never murdered anyone.
And I keep believing to the very end, until this battle is over. What the heck is this? Witness, please state your names and occupation for the court. How is this policeman a witness? He's always asleep. And the other one looks like she escaped from Zelda. State your purpose. Streamer. Cat. Oh, she's clearly not influencing him at all. Oh, suck my nuts. Why not both? Rolly. What voice do I give this guy?
Honorable Rolly Pete, sir. Nothing to report on the streets, sir. Ugh. And I, Mrs. Pete, Patricia's my name. I'm proud to say I'm this young town's hero's wife.
I take what I can get, okay? What's the story here?
Well, in truth, we've been married long. We've not been married long.
Quite understandable at the age of 14.
In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day.
After one day? No, it was your husband I was asking about. He seems tired. Hardly surprising. Whilst being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world. Oh, really? I'm sure I've heard that before, actually. Indeed, apart from rare days off, our gallant officers trudge some 20 miles a day, you know. They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collect taxes, survey the streets, clean our shoes, paint our toilets, and lick the carriages, check the meters that are reading true. And they're responsible for keeping the streets clean and lighting and extinguishing our streetlights and clean our butts and taking care of our children, eating the children, sending the children into the woods and never come back. Why would you have, who in their right mind wanted to be a police officer in that time when it was like, yes, here, take 20 jobs and do them all at once, every day. Oh wait, that's what a normal worker in Japan is. Whoops. There are a number of items on that list that don't sound much like police duties at all. I wouldn't be just falling asleep on my feet, I would have collapsed long ago. But it goes without saying that a policeman's primary duty is apprehension of criminals. Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes on his beat. For the London Bobby is a man of honor. And a man of slumber. On the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Briar Road the opposite direction, and they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Bate? Bate? You know, Bate is not such a good name, considering that he is like part of a series of movies about killings. That's right, sir, isn't it, Rolly?
Constable Rolly Beat, sir. Nothing to report on the streets, sir.
What a great witness he's going to be. Very good. I would like to hear the formal testimonies now, please. You will tell the court exactly what you saw on the afternoon of the incident.
Yes, sir.
It was our wedding anniversary, and Rolly was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to waste, to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor, then the other scattered something before running off. These eyes scare me. We ran straight over to, of course, and went for help at the nearby police box. It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Rolly and I both saw him as clear as day at the foggy day. He didn't even say anything. Well, this is extremely compelling. This is extremely compelling testimony, I must say. English. Oh dear, this policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsume at the scene. If their testimony is true, the alternative course of the events that you established in the exami will be quashed. its death knell, in fact, because of that alternative was never viable in the first place.
What an unfortunate chancing,
What a word.
and on your wedding anniversary too. Oh, I know, but I still managed to go out for the evening with my man. Thank the Lord for that. Gosh, the life of a London Bobby sounds very hard indeed.
Indeed. However, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may have well time to rest this afternoon. What do you mean by that? My learned friend, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under the oath that it was without doubt the accused Mr. Sasuke Natsume. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less. So you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure, because policemen would never lie. Except that a man's so tired his wife has to do all the talking.
Enough preamble. Counsel of the defense, commence the cross-examination, please. Whoa.
Yes, my lord. Yeah, I wonder what did... I have questions. Okay, anyway. We shall see next time where this is going.